To all my fellow Americans out there, happy Independence Day. As for all my fellow individualists, hello again. Today we're going to be burning the 8th flag in this flag burning series, so let's just get on into it. In our society there is a main establishment ideology, and then there is a reactionary oppositional ideology. And typically, because these two are the biggest, most of the light gets shined on them, and thus people believe that those are the only two things that exist. So, unfortunately, most people do not know what the far right actually is, what individuals such as myself really believe, which is why I created this channel. So, to better help people understand what the far right is really all about, we're going to be burning the Blue Lives Matter flag. Now, this resembles the national flag of the country comprised of 50 states, known as United States of America. But this is not that flag. This is a bastardized version of that flag, drowning in hypocrisy. And I'm going to put it out of its misery. But before I do, let's talk about this blue line a little bit. Well, actually, kind of can't. You see, all the videos that I make, I upload to YouTube.com, and I also upload the same videos to basically a mirror channel on the website called Rumble.com. So you might be watching this on one of two different websites. This means even though I'm going to upload this video to YouTube.com, I also plan to upload it to Rumble.com. And you see, unfortunately, once upon a time, I heard that there was a new website being created called Rumble.com, and it was boasted to be this great platform for freedom of speech, for protecting the sanctity of the First Amendment. And I was like, hell yeah, human rights, man. That's what I'm all about. Freedom of speech. Being able to freely say what you want. Being able to express yourself. Being able to tell the world what I, as an individual, believe. I was all on board. So I decided to test Rumble.com. Yeah, see, I once upon a time created a Rumble account, a channel on Rumble.com, and I uploaded several videos, 10 videos to be specific, that were me expressing my personal beliefs, freely expressing what I think. I had no calls to violence, but I was speaking things that others might find alarming. I was speaking freely on a platform that boasts about being able to speak freely. I wanted to see just how true their claims to defending freedom of speech were. I created the channel. I uploaded 10 videos expressing my beliefs in opposition to these beliefs. And interesting thing happened. After I uploaded my videos, I clicked away and went about my life. And when I came back, one day later, approximately 24 hours later, all of my videos were gone. That's weird. I must have made a mistake uploading the videos. I checked all around. I had, no notifications that, maybe my videos had been taken down for this reason or that reason. I had no strikes on my account. I had no warnings of my videos had been demonetized or the ability to be demonetized, simply stripped from my channel, anything like that. Nothing. Just my videos were gone. I was like, what? That's weird. And then I decided to click on some other video, just a random video, play it, and well, I liked it. So I decided to hit what their equivalent of a like button. I decided to give them a rumble, and that didn't work either. It wouldn't let me rumble. It said like feature disabled or something like that. And I was like, well, that's weird. Why can't I? Maybe I gotta go through some kind of period before I can do that or something. I then tried to leave a comment. I couldn't leave any comment under the video. So I couldn't comment on this video. I couldn't rumble it or like it. I was like, what's going on here? So I went to my personal email account and checked around to see if I'd gotten any kind of notifications from rumble.com. No, I didn't get sent any kind of emails, any kind of warnings, any explanation why my 10 videos were gone. It was just radio silence. It was weird. So I decided, maybe I should just re-upload my videos. So I tried to re-upload my videos and it wouldn't let me upload anything. It said basically action prohibited or something like that. I was like, well, what's going on? Why can't I do anything on this fucking channel or on this website? So I then thought, maybe I need to log out and re-log it back in. So I did. I logged out. And then when I tried to log back in, it said that there was something wrong with my password or my email. I was like, well, that's weird. So I pulled out my piece of paper, checked all the numbers, and yeah, my password was correct. I re-entered it correctly. So then I clicked the option, can you send my email some type of thing so that I can change my password, or some kind of issue. And when I clicked that, something odd happened. I got a little window, a little email thing popped up on the screen, and it said, your account has been banned. Huh. One day on rumble.com, trying to freely express myself, trying to express my personal beliefs in opposition to these beliefs. And my whole channel was banned. No warnings, no anything. No strikes, no just take down the videos, nothing. No. The whole damn account banned in one day for just expressing myself. So much for freedom of speech. And interestingly enough, I actually had those videos uploaded to youtube.com on a different YouTube channel for several months prior to that, with no strikes, no warnings, no problems. So I can vouch for the fact that I have uploaded videos to YouTube for many months with no problems. And then I upload the same videos to rumble.com and my whole damn channel got banned. So if I talk openly about what I feel about this flag, I could upload that video to YouTube apparently, but I can't upload it to my new Rumble account that I'm using, because, well, then that channel would get banned too. After all that, I personally decided to take down the videos that had been left up on YouTube and create this channel, which is a PG version of me trying to express my beliefs. And so far, everything's stayed on Rumble and everything's stayed on YouTube, so I'll give you the PG version of my beliefs in regards to this. I'm going to go ahead and step off to the side here and let you look at this flag one last time while I finish up what I have to say. Generally speaking, tyrants do not sit on thrones. Tyrants cast people before thrones. Tyrants don't order for your home to be invaded. Tyrants invade your home. Tyrants don't order executions. Tyrants carry out the executions. Tyrants don't merely scheme of ways to invade a country or enslave a people. Tyrants take up arms and invade nations themselves, and with shouts of rage, they conquer. Maybe people like Alexander the Great, who not only sat on a throne but actually led his men into battle, could be both a dictator and a tyrant. But the leaders of our modern age, and I'm describing the last 1,000 years or so as the modern age, you don't really see many dictators who are also tyrants. This is because tyrants are not carried in the streets in big elaborate parades by their servants. Tyrants are the servants. Tyrants are the ones who are issued badges, swords, guns, shields, armor, uniforms by a dictator, and march the streets to use violence and intimidation to enforce the rules of a dictator. Benito Mussolini had bad ideas, but if it wasn't for his tyrants that followed his orders, he would have been a powerless failure. The same goes for Adolf Hitler. The same goes for Joseph Stalin. The same goes for Mao Zedong. All of these men were dictators, undoubtedly, but it was their servants, their yes men, who were the tyrants. It was their servants who poured out the tyranny upon their own people or the peoples of other nations. This flag represents the worship of blue gods. This flag is idolatry. It's idolatry of tyrants, of oppressors. This flag is the symbol of Stockholm Syndrome, saying, "Please, tread on me," like some Resident Evil 8 cuck who has an obsession with being stepped on. There are some people who think that this flag is some kind of white supremacy flag. I personally have never known it to be that. I see it as something far more vile. In Virginia, the state flag has a Latin phrase, which in short means, "Thus I always bring death to tyrants." This flag should bear the phrase, "Thus I always submit to tyrants." Perhaps this flag should bear the phrase, "Tread on me." Without the blind belief in authority that is embodied in this flag, every single example of democide in human history would have been avoided. And the same goes for all mass murders and mass sacrifices carried out by religious groups throughout human history. The heart of left-wing politics is security. And this flag is left-wing. If you are a leftist, then you are a securitarian or a conservative. If you are a far leftist, then you are a collectivist, typically a socialist. And if you are an extreme leftist, then you are an authoritarian. This typically is like communist, fascist, or the version of socialism created by Germany known as Nazism or National Socialism. This flag exists to frame and support all three of those ideologies: left, far left, and extreme left. Without the mindset of this flag, none of those three ideologies could exist. There are many people who like to blame Adolf Hitler for, the things that happened during the Holocaust. They say because he made the orders, he told people to go round up the Jews and do all those things, that it's his fault. He was just speaking. He was merely expressing himself. Now, his self-expression was authoritative. He was trying to control people. He was trying to dictate and tell people what to do with his freedom of speech. But those people gave up their individuality and chose to fall in line. They chose to be collectivist, to take orders, to give up their own identity, to give up their beliefs, to give up their choices, their freedoms, and to just say yes, to just follow orders. People say, oh, well, the Nazi soldiers were good men. They were good soldiers who believed in their country. They were just following orders. That's the problem. You might argue, well, what were the Nazi soldiers supposed to do? Reject those orders? Disobey? They would have been killed. They would have been put into concentration camps too. They had to do what they had to do to survive. Okay, well, it's your right to believe that, to be more of a survivalist, to be a Machiavellian end justifies the means. But then there are people who think other things, who think that ideas are better, that it's better to be a martyr for something that you know and believe is greater than yourself. There are those who believe that sometimes you have to choose between what is right and what is easy. Each one of those soldiers and generals, those Nazis, they had a choice. The Soviets had a choice. The communist Chinese and the fascists of Italy had a choice when they were given those orders. Obey or disobey. They chose to become this. The police, who this blue line represents, are not your allies. They do not serve you. So why then do you in return try to serve them? It's not an equal partnership. They see themselves above you. They see themselves as a higher class than you. If gun confiscation orders are passed one day, do you think it'll be Antifa going around trying to collect all your guns? Trying to round up those bitter clingers? No. It'll be these people. Dear Americans, who didn't wish to wear masks, nor forced their customers of their own businesses to wear masks. Who cursed you and attacked you and arrested you for not wearing a mask or forcing others to wear masks in your business, your private business? Who came and shut down your businesses and your churches? Who told you that you weren't allowed to have but so many people in your home, the privacy of your home, on the privacy of your private property? BLM members attack you, your family, your vehicles, and your business. And the police are given stand-down orders, just like the fascists of Italy, and the Nazis of Germany, and the Soviets of Russia, and the communists of China. They allow it to happen. They allow the wicked to prosper. But then if you attack the BLM members to defend yourself, or defend your family, or defend your vehicle, or defend your business, well then, here comes 10 of your blue gods to beat you into submission, confiscate your guns, and haul you off in handcuffs, while your attackers cheer and mock you. There are dozens of these videos online. Best case scenario, that blue line that divides this flag is a symbol of how police divide this country. Best case scenario, they represent a neutral ground between any feud, an unbiased referee, if you will. But typically, this is not reality. Typically, the police just follow the orders of those who are in power. And how often do good men and women hunger for power? It drives me insane when you hear these people who conflate law-abiding citizen as someone who is good. They'll say, you know, they'll try to shame a police officer who is, beating up or arresting a person for some reason, something that a bystander or maybe someone filming thinks is a good thing. And they'll say something like, how can you do this? You're beating up or arresting law-abiding citizens. If a new law says you can't own a gun, for example, and the police come after you, that's not the government going after law-abiding citizens. You may believe you've done nothing wrong. You may believe that the people have a right, a freedom to own that gun, but that doesn't mean owning it or possessing it isn't illegal. Stop confusing legal with good. And stop confusing illegal with bad. If you break a law, that doesn't mean you're bad. It just means you did something illegal. And furthermore, if you do everything legal and within the guidelines of the law, that doesn't mean your actions were good. Only a true leftist, a true securitarian or conservative would think that legal means good and that illegal means bad. Only a true leftist would give up any type of morality or principles or code of ethics and just blindly believe in the laws and edicts of government. That the dictates of a worldly government or an otherworldly government or spiritual government are unquestionable. If the law says you must spit in the face of every black person you see, and so you go about your day spitting loogies at the faces of blacks, that doesn't make you a good person. It just makes you a law-abiding citizen. Police are not the promoters of goodness and the preventers of evil. Those who are a part of law enforcement wield a monopoly on violence. And they use the threat or punishment of violence to enforce the laws, regardless of whether or not you think the law is good or bad. If the law, be it a worldly law or some type of religious spiritual law, dictates that you must die for any crime, for the crime of just saying no, the enforcers of the law enforcement, will execute you on the spot, will put a bullet in your head or remove your head for daring to defy the law. They will use you as an example to strike fear in all of those who would dare question the law or have the courage to oppose the law or break the law. They use violence to break your will, the threat of violence to break your will as an individual so that you get in line with the collective. You are not safe on a public sidewalk in broad daylight, nor the privacy of your own home in the middle of the night. They have blue privilege. You have no privilege. They are innocent until proven guilty in court. But you're guilty. Because they said you are. Right there on the spot. Police believe that because they put on a certain outfit, that they are a higher form of human being. That they are some entitled upper class, given greater human rights than you and I. Above you and I. But even worse, the people who fly this flag and are not a part of law enforcement, these are people who accept this idea, who accept that they are in this lower class and idolize and romanticize and glorify and bow to this upper class. Police are not saints or angels or peacemakers or heroes or sentinels of righteousness and vanquishers of evil. They are not some military combat veterans who have served their country. They are not vanguards, fighters for liberty. They literally exist as an opposition to liberty. They literally exist to tell me what I'm not free to do. They are not some modern adaptation of your fictitious, romanticized ideas of who the Knights Templar were. Police are mindless yes men and yes women who enforce law and uphold order. Even if a society is ordered in a wicked way and the laws breed only suffering and loss. I understand that most people these days, unfortunately, have the memory span of a goldfish. So I guess I can only say try to imagine what I'm about to say. Try to imagine the fact, the truth, the reality that for 8 years under President Barack Obama, Republicans were gearing up for war against the police. Republicans were engaging in a cold civil war, an arms race against the police. The police were buying billions of rounds of ammunition, and the public was buying tons and tons of guns and ammunition themselves. Ballistic body armor was getting put on back order for months. Stores were selling out. Records were being sold every holiday and every year, and the police were riding around in their MRAPs, and there was constantly videos of police talking about how they were gearing up for war against returning military veterans who could defeat local law enforcement techniques, and they needed these MRAPs so that they could combat people who could build IEDs. There were these videos of police and sheriffs talking about the evils and dangers of constitutionalists who dare stockpile guns and ammunition and are all obsessed with I don't know, human rights. They were buying paper shooting targets. One series in particular was called No More Hesitation. Anybody else remember this? The No More Hesitation paper shooting target series, where they had an old man and an old woman in like a bathrobe, and they had a pregnant woman with her hand on her hip with a little gun, and they had like a teenage girl, looked like she was like 17 at a high school, and a little boy who was probably like 10 years old, barely holding a gun with both hands, training law enforcement to go in and without hesitation gun down Americans. Anybody else remember this? For 8 years, preparing for war against the police, and then Donald Trump got elected, and just poof. All of a sudden, now police are not the enemy. Now all of a sudden, it's not just your patriotic duty to bend over to the police, but it's your patriotic duty and it's your religious moral duty to bow to these people. I guess to pray to these fucking people. Of all the flags that I've burned in this series, I think I hate this one the most. It is opposed to the right wing in its entirety. If you are a moderate centrist, you should at least question this mindset. If you are just a basic nationalist who doesn't believe in one ideology or another and just thinks that we should all compromise for the good of the nation, even you should question this. But if you are an actual rightist or a far rightist, and especially, I shouldn't have to say it, extreme rightist, this flag ain't for you. As somebody who is far right, I not only support the idea of defunding the police, I want to see the outright disbanding of police. I am opposed to local police, state police, federal police, as well as federal agencies like CIA, FBI, ATF, DEA, and the BLM, Bureau of Land Management. Individuals such as myself don't support TSA or the ICE or ICE. How can you claim to be anti-government and then support the puppets of the government? So with all that being said, fuck this flag.